Is that what?
Thank you guys.
All right, Brittany. That's it, Britt.
I truly like dancing. Can't ever talk about, especially about Mary Jane. But I love to enter into my comfort zone in my space, and that is dancing and being me, embracing me. And it took a while for me to get there, to that. And we'll go into that in a few, but I wanted to share with you all. This is just the genuineness and the transparency that I have embraced and become, because it's truly genuine and real. So I wanted to celebrate First Life because I'm 49. I just turned 49 today, so sister of Mio and Nina. So okay. And I found a awesome, amazing brother-in-law. So I look, when they worked, they did their kiss and everything, and it's about to be behind-the-scene brother-in-law. He's amazing, just the best. So I am just blessed that God had put her and Nina into my life, the time that they had, and we just physically met. Wow. Isn't that amazing?
Today.
That's how God works. That's how God works. And we have to learn to embrace it. We have to learn to embrace change. We have to learn how God is moving in each of our lives. Because I'm feeling that I have a message to give each and every one of you all in your season. Your season. It's our season as women. We as women. Don't you all feel it? It's our season. Yeah. It started like last year. It's our season. Come on now. But you all have an individual season for yourself to embrace. And I have found that in years, I remember being in a season of growth, being in a season of just living, being in a season of just existing. Now, I'm in a season of thriving. Yes. Because I choose to be in this season and embrace this thriving move. You understand what I'm saying? But you have to know each and every one of us is in a season of our life. We need to recognize it, accept it, and embrace it. Okay? How did I come up with the accept and embrace? How did I come up with accept and embrace? Woo! I came up with accept and embrace through a memoir. 2 years ago, when COVID had hit, I came up with putting everything on paper, starting from my childhood. And it was like an epitome where I had to get understanding with COVID sitting me down and understanding years and being in the ministry and a denomination church where it was really more so with Black African American, their knowledge, their seminary, their structure, their rules, guidelines, conference dues. So I come from a background of that. So, but I also came from a background of transparency was looked shunned upon. Truth had to be hidden to a degree. Yeah. And so I wasn't willing to take that sacrifice. So how I came up with that accept and embrace it all, I went into the shutdown, just like everybody else was. Even in a toxic relationship, God was moving. Hear this. Even in a toxic relationship, God was moving in my life and shut me down to bring out this accept and embrace it all. And I went from the start, and he said, the Lord. And I wasn't building a relationship like I'm building now, and I'll get to that. But it's like, throughout your years, how many times people said, you need to share your story? You need to share your story. Bits and pieces. It was like, your life is a book. I mean, I've heard that throughout my life. Your life is a freaking book. And I'm like, yeah. Not really accepting and embracing, just hearing it. So first, the Holy Spirit had me to remember all of these signs. And even in my little career move of quitting school in 11th grade, getting my high school diploma through a diploma program in my hometown, and starting from there so that my girls could see that I could one day take care of them, because I had 4 kids under 25 years old one time. So I was like, okay. So as he sat me down and said, how many times during your career when you were working with the at-risk youth, you were like, you know what I'm talking about, when it was appropriate, stay in school. You're going to need it. Stay in school. I'm telling you, and I'm saying, you might want to quit, but that's not a good choice. Don't, okay? And how many times during you see other things and situations with teenage pregnancy, you said, I know. Because you really didn't know. And when it was appropriate, so I started thinking and said, so now what I want you to do is first accept you're broken. Accept you're broken. I had some kind of way analyzed in my mind before I got 5 years old, justifying other people's behavior, that it was quite normal, because this was all that happened. This is all that I knew, that I was rejected and abandoned by 2 parents that I knew up until I was 5. That maybe I wasn't a gift. How could I be a gift when not one but both did not come back and get me? You know? So said, accept that was not normal. You can't normalize something that's not normal. Mm-hmm. Accept that. And I don't know who I'm talking to, but that had to register with me. And I had to believe that and get that in my spirit, that accept the foundation was broken. A foundation of protection, justice, love from the initial caretakers was broken. Except that my first introduction of intimacy was broken. It wasn't fair. It wasn't right. I'm not responsible. Except I wasn't responsible at 12 years old of knowing what grooming is, but it was broken. It was something that I had to realize and accept and choose. It don't have to stay broken. It don't have to kill me. It does not have to kill that little girl that's inside of feeling that intimacy is not made beautiful for her. That she can't feel that love and that unconditional love just because it was broken by the first initial caretakers in her life. Accepting and embracing that I can have a relationship, a healthy relationship, where I'm not feeling like, as long as they accepted me, what I could give. I had to realize and accept that I was that 5-year-old that wondered day in and day out, could I be a better child? Could I just be a little bit quieter? Could I? No, I got it all figured out. I won't ask. I won't ask for seconds. I'll be hungry. No, I got it. I won't ask to go to the bathroom. So I hold it all day. Because then maybe she will smile. That yearn that I'm yearning for. To make me feel that she likes me. Hell with love now. Maybe she would just like me. So anybody that act like they like me, that they could get something from me, I gravitated on. You got to be for me in my life. You can't go nowhere. No. Once you're there, you don't go. That abandonment and rejection. I couldn't deal with it. So what I do, I went through 4 marriages that did not work. Because they seen something in me, said, I'm a good mom, because I never learned and embraced to validate myself. I never learned and gave a chance to learn to love me and accept me and deal with that brokenness. That one, I was a gift. Every child is a gift. Every child is a gift. Wonderfully and beautifully created. But we're not responsible for the givers. We're not responsible. And we can grow up dealing with the pain and rejection for years that will stem over in every last one of our relationships until we accept and embrace that it does not have to be. I lived years in misery. I lived years running because I didn't want to run into my biological mother that still stays in my hometown that I still live in, and I don't get what I want from her. I'm now dealing with 14, 15. You knew I was raised by these people. You knew I was raised by. Did you ever check on me? Did you ever send a gift? Did you ever call me? But I knew you. Up until I was 5 years old, where were you? What was so wrong with me? You didn't come back and get me. So now I'm laying in the hospital bed. I'm the youngest one in our hometown having a 15-year-old child. At 15 years old, having a child. Just before I turned 16 years old. And my adopted parents, they were in a generation era where they did the best they could, but they only did what they knew. And what they knew was only prayer. Prayer works, and that's it. What goes on in the home stays in the home. We're a religious family, and this is what she told me. If you were 12 years old, I don't care what the situation was, but we don't deal with abortions. I don't care what the situation was or how it happened, but if you were 12 years old, you're going to have this baby. And guess what? You're a woman now. So what I do, I try to fit the woman's shoes. She said, you're a woman now? And guess what else, young lady? Your child's birthday due date is on the 31st. Okay? Let's see if that comes. But your birthday is August 13th, right? I said, yes, ma'am. All the birthday parties, you don't get no 16-year-old birthday party. That goes to your baby. So this is why I celebrate the way I do. But I celebrate, and I had to learn to celebrate free. Not miserable. Not guilt. Not shame. Not anxiety. Not in depression, where years I was in or running. Making sure, at one time, I didn't want to deal with running into her because those years of running into her, of wanting, is this the time that you're going to say, let's build a relationship? Never came.
You're speaking to my soul.
Never came. So what I do, I go in my pocket and I say, how much gas you need?
Mm-hmm.
Can I fill it up?
Mm-hmm.
Sure. She accept that. She accept checks that I've written to her and put in birthday cards, but I never remember receiving not one birthday card, not one gift when I was adopted. But I wanted that validation. I wanted her, and I felt responsible. What can I do to make her love me? Until I got it. It was broken. It's nothing that I can do. Nothing I can do but accept me. Love me. Let God transform me.
Amen.
To be free.
Yes, Lord.
Free to deal with whatever choice they make. Whoever makes. Free to walk into his purpose and his plan for my life. How would I be able to stand right here to tell you, and how would you be able to tell someone else if you've never been heartbroken? Never had a loss. Never had a pain. Never had a trauma experience. How would you be able to? How would you be able to shed the light and shed the inspiration and let alone be able to be free yourself if you never went. So I had to accept all the bad and the good, had to balance it out. I remember on one of the podcasts it said, would anything you change in your life? I said, not at all. If anything, they said, if everything could be erased in your life, what would be one memory you would not want to be erased? You know what I said? Having that child right there at 15. Because it changed the course of my life.
Mm-hmm.
I was born and created to stop generation curses.
Amen.
It started with me.
Yes.
But I had to accept and get free and liberated first before I could walk into that. Wasn't easy. 4 marriages that you're still living in your hometown, and you get back. Oh, she was in the church. She stayed in the church. She would be able to deal with it. Deal with what? You're talking about the trauma after one trauma after the other trauma. You're talking about the trauma that at 5 years old, that traumatic beating that I seen, that I witnessed, with face being bloody. That it wasn't even a week, wasn't even a day that went by. I was dropped off to these 2 people's homes, even though they were my paternal aunt. But I was told by the biological father, this is where I'm going to stay, and you'll be back. I never remembered ever staying with these people overnight. But you all couldn't even wait for a day or a week, or even sit me down and let me know. But this is what I went through, from one trauma to another trauma, to staying there and being scared to say. And I had a 2-year older sister with me in the back seat, witnessing the same thing. She stayed. So I wasn't only separated from you all, but I was separated from my sister that I knew, that looked at me, that played with me, that loved me. So I'm in this bed wondering, what's going to happen to me? Should I tell them that I don't want them to turn the lights out? But they said that I'll be okay. No, I'm not going to tell them, because that moment of that traumatic experience overturned to, who cares? Who cares? Some kind of way I'll be all right. And this is where that embedded faith that we all have. Y'all know that, right? Y'all know that. Thinking about your own childhood. It's this embedded spirit of God inside, this faith, this hope that said, even in the darkest time, you're going to be all right.
Yes, Lord.
You're going to be all right. And I was. But I'm being very transparent and letting you know that what I had to hear and continue to hear, if I didn't do the work, as my sister said, Nina said, with me, and accepting and embrace this message and that statement on my book, The Epitome of Kimmy, how I got the Epitome of Kimmy. I'm a music person, as y'all see, so I listen to all types of music. Tamala Man, Jada Kids. This one helps. But no, I listen to all of it. So it was one song that came on with the lyrics and said it. And I'm here Googling. I said, oh my gosh, that's it. The essence. Every chapter fits the essence of who I am. And then Kimmy came through with my adopted dad. He was that balance, the band. Like I said, being raised in that generation era, they only did what they weren't trained. They weren't taught. This is in the 70s. Mm-hmm. So going even into school was no question. Mm-hmm. They filled out that paperwork. No teacher said nothing. Mm-hmm. They did some tests, because I was blocked. You're a solid little brown skinned baby with nothing but hair. Just look it. Blocked. And they did the test and they said, this child would never read or write effectively. I couldn't get past 20 and it killed me. Book. 6 years had to read. Called the Izzy. About the lizard. For 6 years had a resource teacher. Went through after 4th and 5th grade when they figured out that I was in a resource and was coming out to play. would get bullied a little bit. I was introduced to that. They would say, call me a little retarded, little cute little girl, a little retarded, but it hurt. And I remember saying to my resource teacher, I said, I don't want to go outside. And she said, why? And I didn't say nothing to my parents because here I'm shut down. I never told them until years later. And she said, why do you want to go outside? Because they pick on me. They laugh at me because I'm in here with you. She said, would you like to be my helper? I said, yeah. So I ended up being her helper. This woman didn't look like me. She was a different nationality. She said to my parents, I think she might need to have someone talk to her. They said, we know Jesus. We know Jesus. Prayer works. Prayer changes things. We know Jesus. This is what's going to happen. And she will be okay. And so she left it alone. But she did come back and say to me, and this is why I said we have an obligation to plant a seed.
Yes.
We do. She came back to me and she said, and this is the first time I ever heard that from an educator. She said, you're a special child. I don't care how long it takes. I'm not going to let you go. And she did. 6 years she was with me in resource. I said a prayer in 6th grade, a little childlike prayer. I just didn't want to be different. I never wanted anyone to feel sorry for me. I just wanted to feel like I matter. Do y'all understand what I'm saying? Just matter. We are created where we don't want to feel like we are victim. We just want to be heard, feel like we matter. And this world and the enemy will allow us to be crushed if we don't get to understand ourselves and love ourselves because we won't know how to take it. So, she, like I said, this educator, and I prayed this little prayer, and I said, I just don't want to be different. Tested out, 7th and 8th grade, I was doing flags, I was on honor roll. You wouldn't even know unless you went back to Beaver Run and looked at my school system, school records, and know that I was in resource for 6 years. God works in mysterious ways. That was my miracle prayer for me. And I dropped in the 7th and 8th grade. Got into the 9th grade. Now, mind you, I'm still going through with my biological father, even though him and my mother ended up having children after me, still staying married for a little while. I'm still at my paternal mother's house, paternal aunt's house, which that's his older sister. I'm still there, and he's coming periodically, coming in and out, bonding still with his sister. That, like, he's got amnesia.
They get amnesia.
I didn't know whether this man forgot or got in a tragic accident, didn't know that I was his daughter or not.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm still growing up, and I'm feeling like, what the hell is wrong with this man? Is something wrong with me? I must be crazy. But I'm just looking. And I'm still getting fed with the adopted parents, saying, you might not look like us because they were very light in color, very nice features, very beautiful color. Might not look like us, and bless her heart, like I said, she was older. She was from that generation era. That's her grandmom, so I better be nice. But she would say anything come in mind. She said, honey, you might got the nigger nose and the big lips, but she said you might not look like us, but we love you. But at 10 and 11, I was like, whoa! Lord Jesus, couldn't you make it a little smaller? Oh my God, yeah, that crushed me. But then here's where my father was a very spiritual man. 3rd grade education, struck oysters in Chrisfield. Very, very. That's my other daughter. That's her baby. Now her and my adopted father was really close. That's her grandfather. They were really close. That's the grandma baby. That's the grandfather. So I got to watch it. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, kid. I'm going to tell this story and I'm going to leave Daddy Bill alone. He only had 3rd grade, but he was very wise and he balanced it out spiritually. And he was connected. So he's seen, after she said that, and it was a switch from the traumatic experience that I've seen from the violence and the domestic violence, mental and physical abuse from my father and my mother biologically from up until I was 5. When I got with them, God is good. It was very structured. It was I seen teamwork. I never seen them arguing. Now I seen her get away a lot, but I didn't see them arguing. I couldn't play one against the other. But he seen my demeanor go down after she pointed out my features, and he pulled me aside and he said to me, he said, "Kimmy," that's how I got the name. He said, "Kimmy," he said, "come here. Come listen to your dear old dad." I said, "Oh, here we go." Dear old dad. You heard dear old dad crap. You better start listening, right? So he said, "The world needs your smile." Never corrected what she said. So I thank God because of what she said, his spirit allowed to balance that out. And I started smiling. And this is why I smile so much. And I even smile through a lot of my pain and my hurt. But it comes from an origin. He planted that seed and let me know, baby, the world needs your smile. Not only, and then I had to choose and find out, not only the world needs my smile. I need it. I'm so worthy of it. But I had to get there. I had to go through the process. And I had to get there and understanding that when I accept and embrace, I accept and embrace my truth. I accept it and embrace from the beginning of my life, from the brokenness, from the pain, from the hurt, the disappointment, the unfairness, the injustice. And I had to accept choices that I made. Choices that I made to continue toxic relationships. I remember, I'm gonna explain this. It's the first time I explained this to Seth. Explain this. I told you about the last toxic relationship I was in, the one too long ago. Thank God it's over. But I remember dealing with that and being able to say, not only I'm too old for this shit, it gotta stop, it gotta stop with me. Gotta stop with me. So I remember going back and forth to court. This last time that I had to go to court, I wrote a letter to the court. I was even up there at that time of the court date. That was our last one. I seen him coming up there. And I took the letter to the administrator, to give to the judge, and I rolled out and I went to work. Matter of fact, I had to go across the bridge and deal with my clients. But I'm telling you what pretty much detailed that letter inside, because it was about protection to get it for fighting. See, it was a physical, abusive relationship, again, unhealthy, toxic, and here I've dealt with for 4 years. Not finding my self-worth, but that letter to that judge was pretty much bringing accountability to me. It's saying, I appreciate all the temporary protection orders that you have gave me, and if I need you, trust and believe, I'll call you. But I'm going to do what I haven't ever done before, and that's stand up for me. Protect me, my choice, and leave the rest to God. Only that piece of paper can go but so much. God goes farther.
Amen. Amen. Amen.
And let me tell you something. When I left and I went to work and I came back, I never got back in a car with him. Never got back in a relationship with him. That was over and done. But I had to count an accountability and choose me and act on it. So many times we as women want the law or anybody else to act on it when we're not making the decision to fight for ourselves, to choose us first.
Yes.
And be confident. First of all, I had to accept I have the ability to choose. I have the ability to choose. Now I'm in the dating world. You can't tell me nothing. I know I got the ability to choose. I know you're not for me. Quick in a hurry. Quick in a hurry. Don't. Yes. I have the ability to choose. I can. Then I had to get to, I'm so worthy of being able to choose. I built my own self-worth. had to accept also that I didn't need anyone to validate how I feel. I know my story.
Yes.
I know what I live through. I know nights that I cry and pray. I know things that only me and God knows. So, not even excuse me. Just like my adopted mom just passed away. When I have a grieving moment, and I just need to grieve my way. I don't need you to tell me I can be sad. I already told myself I can be sad. Yeah. I already told myself. Yeah. I already done told myself I have a right to put my head up high and put my little heels on and go on about my own business. I have a right that I already told myself that I can get tired. And when I do get tired, I have a right that I already chose to tell myself, okay, this is where I got to keep building my relationship with who created me, who knows me more than anybody. And it ain't about being religious. It's about your relationship. It's about spiritual. You can't tell me about my relationship with God. I know my relationship with God. I know who I get up and talk to every morning. And this is where He wants us to be. He wants us to be that way. And be transparent about it. And be courageous about it. When I got to this accepting and saying, this is not about my children. I have 4 adult children. And 1 minor. And I remember I told you the seasons that I was just existing? That I got up and I said, as long as they see the dad and the mom in here, I'll be all right. As long as they see that, and they got food, and if they say they want, that you get, I'll be all right. Oh no. That's how I remember, and I'll never forget living years like that, young. Dragged down the stairs because I changed my hair color. First marriage was 11 years older than me. And I wanted to build some independence, go to college or whatever. It was a fight. And I mean, it was a physical fight. Because I wasn't that 18, 19-year-old that was supposed to be dependent on him. Supposed to be dependent on him. And only him. So I had to accept and embrace, no, how do I choose to live my life? Not for my kids. When I wake up in the morning, I choose Kim. I choose Kim. When you wake up in the morning, the only way you can give the best of you to anybody is by choosing me first.
Yes. Yes.
Choosing you first. This is the only way. So, even with the 4 adult kids and the 1 minor, they're all in their different seasons of their life. This one think I'm crazy. Is able to get the best of mama because I choose me. I choose me and I work at it every day. Is it easy? No. It's a choice. And I put it in action. Faith without works is dead.
Yes.
Amen. I believe that wholeheartedly. When I act upon, I say to God, and Nina was encouraging me. Like I said, this was our first physical time being together. And I said, Nina, I remember making the decision on not taking a supervisory position and getting my salary cut to about $6,000-$7,000 down because my book that I'm been a year. Went so well and inspiring, and I wanted to go out, and I wanted to go out whenever I was asked to go out, and to give a word and to share, and even if I didn't speak, just to encourage my sister, I wanted to be able to do that. So I told my sister, I said, when that happened. And the supervisory position happened, all of this happened at the same time. And I said to my boss, I said, I can't take that supervisory position because I need the flexibility. And what I do, when I put my foot in, what I do the best thing. I'm not going to take that responsibility and that overload and then have a 6-year-old. Oh, no. And I'm almost 50. The reality is there. One of us will get through it. One of us will get through it. No, one of us will not get through it. So I said, and she said, I commend you. And this supervisor of mine is my daughter's age. Yeah. She said, I commend you, Kim, for, being that way because of not about the title and not about the money. But I was hurt when the management came back and cut my salary down so far. And I went back to God. I'm out here doing my little power walks because I don't do gym. I'm a joke at the gym. I just go and do my walk and nature walk, right? And I'm doing part of the tears start rolling down. Start crying. I said, God, why? When did I do that? I said, here my ex had caught me all kinds of bees and I was selfish and why would I take down a position and Here, that was in my head. You know how, those negative spirits trying to crush you down. And I'm here crying. I said, Lord, and then by the time I got around the YMCA to the nature walk, something hit me. I'm here listening to my Amazon music playlist and Warrior coming on, and then I think Mio's coming on, and everybody coming on. Everybody coming on, helping me walk. I'm getting around to my end of my walk, and something goes to me and says, breathe. Understand who I am and who you are. Don't limit yourself in a limitless God you serve.
Yes.
Don't put no limitations on you. On a limitless God that you serve. So when he said that, I said, okay, God. I said, all right. So can we look? This is the crazy gem down here that you created. Now look, this is why I need you. I need you to do this for me. Okay? You listen? I know he looks at me and just shakes his head down here. I said, look. I said, I'm going to have to deal with this, me and Diddy. Look, and we like to eat. We like to eat out. I don't know how to cook. Lord, pray for the husband and he's prepared for me because he's got to cook. Because I'm more of the tidy, clean. I like the bedroom ensemble. I like the sweet aroma. I don't like the food aroma. Who out here like to cook?
I do.
I don't like y'all. Y'all go ahead. Go ahead. Do your thing. Do your thing. I ain't gonna have it. Don't pray for me all day. Don't pray for me. I'm telling you. I love the bedroom. I love the inside, but I like the pillow. You're not gonna smell no cooking. I said they gonna cut my salad. I said, me and Minnie like to eat. I said, if we went there, where my food's gonna come? He said, well, look, he said, I'm gonna provide for you.
Amen.
Don't worry about it. Trust me.
Amen.
Trust me. So I said to him, well, look, I'm getting old. You know that, right? I'm getting old. So no, I said, by the time I turned 50, what happened to me, I know you had to allow, because it wouldn't have happened. Everything that happens to us, God allows for a reason. Either a lesson, we have to figure it out, and it's the way we go through it. So I said, I know you allowed this to happen. Because if it wasn't meant to happen, you wouldn't allow it. I said, so now that you allowed it, I said, I need talk. We got talk. I'm telling you, I want to be able to, before my year ends with this agency, and I have to renew the contract, to be able to have 6 figures before I'm 50. Right? I just talked with him. I said, because we got to eat.
Multiplication.
Yeah, I said we got to eat. Yeah, we got to eat. And I got to do some things. I want to get out of the state. I want to buy another home. Yeah. I want to build my own castle. Or this is how I talk to him. I don't want to build my own castle before the man that you got prepared for me bring his castle to me. So we can decide which castle we're gonna live in. Alright? Yeah, so this is how I talk to him. So I'm telling you, when I did that and I turned it over to him, beyond everything that was hitting me, going to court, getting out of this toxic relationship, juggling my finances, where I'm a mom. They know. If they don't got I try to tell them, please at least have half. Lord Jesus, help me. Help me. But if they ain't got, that's why I work. I work very hard. I'll get. But Lord, just give me a break. Please try to have half, you know? But sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. This one's great. But look, at the end, I'm a mama just like that. And I work hard to make sure that I'm able to help when I can. Even taking care of my own self. So with saying that with God, I was like, okay, here, you can take it from there. I done petition, I done put it out, and I'm telling you, I'm standing in front of you, letting you know how, through the whole process, the court and getting out of that toxic relationship, God opened the door. Then I'm working 2 full-time jobs, making over 6 figures. That one full-time job is not even interrupting my other full-time job that I'm going to hold on to because I work for the state and I've been working from home for 7 years. You get what I'm saying? I had to go through the process.
Yeah.
I had to trust God. So I'm going to leave y'all with these 4 affirmations, and I hope you guys get on our website and get the other 4 affirmations because they're 8 beautiful. Trust the process. I talked to you all about the season. Some of y'all going through the process. Trust the process. Trust the process. Don't doubt the process. Don't doubt what the enemy is coming against and the naysayers and the negativity thoughts that are coming in your mind. Fight them. Fight it with every being that you had inside of you. And how you fight is when you choose you every morning. Fight for peace and fight to keep peace. If you don't do it, don't count on nobody else to do it. Nobody can do it but you. So you have to choose it for you. But trust the process. Every day, I trust the process. Since I've been there for 3 months, I don't work the whole summer. 4 in the morning, my alarm clock goes off. You think I like it? Let me tell you, I'm going to show y'all the face. Say, Alexa, shut it down. That's what I said. That's what I said. And I get up. And I get out that bed, that comfortable bed. My bed's slime is cute too. Wash myself up and go on to this office 5 o'clock in the morning and get off at noon. Is it easy? It's a choice. It's a choice that I know that God would not have opened the door for me not to be able to go and walk in it and take care of me as I walk in it. I did it. I made the choice. And when I got into it, now I have to get my certification because I've gone back into the counseling field, get my certification because I just got the training part, but I got to get the certification and get ready for the test, which he's going to open the door, I'm going to pass the test. I don't care what test look like, I'm going to pass it. And I'm not a test taker, but I'm going to pass it. You know? I have to believe and trust the process and know that God is working everything out according to his plan and his will and what I asked him for. He said you ask, you get not because you ask not. Knock, and you shall receive. And I'll be knocking. I don't look. Don't mess with me, I'll be knocking. I'm telling you. I know he get tired of me. I'll be knocking. Because I'm a fool. I'm telling you. I said, without you, Jesus, I'm going to be more than a mess. And it ain't going to be a good one. It's not going to be a good one. I've accepted that. So I embrace mental health because I need it. When I wrote that memoir, when I wrote that book, I had about 3 or 4 therapy sessions. She didn't even know that I was writing my memoir. She didn't even know I was writing it. She had gave me an assignment to write my biological mom. I said, I did that. I said, I'm not going to do that. But she did not know that I was writing a book. And then about 4 months that it was out, I sent my therapist, I mailed her the book to her office. And she called me and she was like, my God. She said, now we talked and we had sessions. She said, I did not know all. She said, but I'm so proud of you. And I was proud of myself because out of all the toxic relationships that I found myself getting out of and getting strength to be courageous enough to show my girls just the process and the move, and that I am not just their mom, but a mother, that I'm a woman as well. and they're going to have to experience some things. But they could see, and by a living example, that I'm not just sharing with you all, but I'm not being fake or living in a facade, that it's a true transparency. And it started with me accepting and embracing and recognizing, and then ultimately trusting in the same God that they have to trust throughout their life, the same one, you know. So, like I said, I'm just encouraging you all, trust the process. I have the memoir. You guys got the title. I think you all have my little card in the bag too. The Epitome of Kimmy. Have a beautiful website if you all want to see the rest of the kids. I got just, who am I missing? I'm missing 2. I'm missing 2. And 4, I think 5 more grandbabies. But it's, I just love for you all to be able just to look at it. Contact me at any time if you want to hear me speak at one of you all's events, or if you know of anybody that would just need an encouraging word. Please.
My mama's already looking at me going, she going to Europe.
Please. I'm always available and ready to travel. And like I said before, I told you all, I put it back into God's hands because I knew that, and like I told my promoter, I did not want money to be a reason why I can't travel. And I didn't want, and God knew the relationships that I've been through. I didn't want to be subject to going back into toxic relationships just because of money. Yeah, we need to just keep it real. Keep it real. This is what this is all about. And I'm so proud of my sister being able to connect us all together, because I'm going to keep it real. And I've been there, done that, but I also am encouraging you all to know that if it wasn't for God, if it wasn't for me accepting and embracing it all, I wouldn't be standing in front of you. So I appreciate you all. Thank you.
Oh,
Thank
music.
you.
Okay.
Oh, she wanted to go back.
I don't know.